Hi everyone, welcome back to Pine Strawberry Fire Department, Station 41, A shift. This is our second time that we are teaming up with the Arizona Burn Foundation to help them out with Cook Like a Firefighter. Today we are going to make pulled pork and coleslaw. So we're going to start by getting the pulled pork, getting our pork butt. So your spices that you put on your rub and your pork, it could be store-bought, it could be homemade. I make my own rubs. And this part might sound a little strange to some people, but I always put a base on my meat, my pork, my ribs, whatever I'm cooking. I put a base on to hold the rub on. And my base is always mustard. Don't worry, you're not going to taste the mustard. Trust me. So what you're going to do is you're going to get the mustard on. Not a lot, just you want to coat the whole thing. A pair of gloves is always good so your hands aren't smelling like mustard. Rub it all in. Make sure you get the whole thing covered. Top, back, bottom. And like I said, you're not going to taste the mustard when it's done. This is just going to help bind the rub. Take whatever spices you want. Like I said, you can buy spices from the store. You can make your own, but don't do it lightly. You want to get that flavor in there. So I'm not stingy with my rub. And you're going to season the whole thing. Top, bottom, sides, everything. Now they say when you're doing something this big on the smoker, usually hour per pound. This is a 4-pound pork butt. I go by internal temperature. I don't go by the hour per pound thing. I'm just going to pat it all on there. So my next step is to get my smoker going. So let's do that while the meat is resting. On the pit bosses, you want to have your lid up. You'll see here in a minute, and this white dark smoke comes pouring out of here. It's what I call dirty smoke. You don't want that in there to get on your meat. And if your lid is closed, it could possibly create a smoke explosion. So you leave the lid up to vent. The smoke will come up. You'll hear a fan come on, and the fan will clear all that smoke out of there. Once the fan comes on and the smoke's gone, it's just clear smoke, you're good to put your lid back down. Another thing you want to be aware of is when you're at the house and you're barbecuing in your grill section or whatever, and you got little kids running around, you want to make sure that the kids do not touch the barbecues or the smokers, because it's going to be hot on the outside. So just keep an eye on your kids if they're out running around when you have your grills and your smokers going. That's going to come up here in a minute, and we'll get that up to temperature. Like I said, again, I'm smoking it at 300, and when that's done, we'll go in there and we will get our coleslaw going. Now that we got the smoker set to our temp, we're going to bring it up to speed. We got our pork butt already seasoned. We're going to start working on our coleslaw. So what you want to do first, what I do first, is I'll make my dressing first, okay? So we're going to put 4 teaspoons of sugar, 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, 2 tablespoons of buttermilk. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of milk, 4 teaspoons of white vinegar. It calls for 2 teaspoons of lemon. I get a whole lemon, cut it in half, and just squeeze it. Depending on what shift you're working on, you can leave the lemon seeds in here for a surprise, or you can take them out. I just salt and pepper to taste. Once you got all your ingredients for your dressing, you want to whisk it up where it's real smooth. We're going to take this and set it aside. Next thing we're going to do is start doing our cabbage and our carrots. I'm going to grate them up. I'm going to take my little handy dandy food processor. I'm going to put those in there. We're going to dice them up to even finer. I'm going to take my carrots. I'm just going to pour them in and for this, I'm going to cut it in half. Cut it in again. Cut out, so you can see this piece right here. We're going to chop this up. We're going to put that in the same little food processor that we had the carrots in.
Whoa, what's that?
So once your cabbage is all in there, you got everything added in, just give it a quick mix. Put the lid on it. We're going to put this in the fridge. And our smoker should be at the temperature. So we're going to go ahead and put our pork butt on the smoker. Okay, as you can see, our smoker's at the temperature at 300. Open the lid. I'm going to give it a quick brush. I've got my gloves on, protect my hands from the heat. I'm going to lay this right in the middle. My temperature probe. There's a bone in here. You want to miss the bone with the temperature probe. So we're going to stick this down into the meat. There we go. We're going to close the lid. Now, the temperature that I'm looking for right now is about 145 to 150 internal temperature. I'm doing my pork butt in a two-step phase. This is phase one. Get my temperature up to 150, and then phase two will come next, where we're going to wrap it and put it back on the grill.
2 hours later.
Welcome back. We're going to check our pork butt. It's looking really good right now. We're sitting at a temperature of, the meat probe is saying we're at a temperature of 155. What I usually do before I wrap it is I'll get some agave sauce, and I'll sprinkle some agave sauce on some tin foil. And then I get spray butter. You can use stick butter, but I like this that's already melted and everything. And I'm going to spray this on here. And we're going to pull your pork butt, we're going to put it in here and wrap it. It's best to have gloves. It's going to be hot. I'm going to wrap it. I'm going to put it meat side down, bone side up. And we're just going to wrap. Basically all I'm doing with the liquid that's in there, it's going to be like a steamer. This is our bone side, so I'm going to press it back on the grill, bone side down. All of my juices are all up in here, just going to soak into the meat. And it's going to sit in there until I reach a temperature of about 175 to 180. When it's done with that, we're going to pull it off and we're going to put it in an ice chest with some paper towels or some newspaper, and let it just sit for a couple hours. And while it's sitting, it's still going to be cooking on the inside. But you want it to rest for an hour or so before you start shredding it up, before you start pulling your meat. We're going to go back inside and see what the finished product looks like. So it's been a while now. Let's see what we got. I took it off the barbecue, off the smoker. I had it sitting in this ice chest here. It's been sitting here for maybe an hour so far. So take the lid off. It's been sitting here, it's been resting in all the juices and everything. Pull this out. When you unwrap it, be cautious because it will still be hot. Here is your finished product. You can sit there and just pull the bone out, like so. You know your meat's done. And it's done. Now comes the time to shred. You can shred it one of two ways. You can use forks to shred it. You can use your hands, whatever you prefer. Some folks will use their hands, but wear gloves though, because it is still warm. Shred it all up. There's going to be some fat on here. Some folks like the fat, some don't want the fat. Depends on who you're cooking for, what they like. This outer part right here is the bark. That's always good. Just start shredding it all up. I don't put sauce on my stuff. I keep the sauce on the side and let folks sauce it. If they want sauce, they have the sauce. You could use your homemade sauce, whatever. for Sweet Baby Ray's. That's the sauce I go, my go-to sauce. We're gonna take some of this, put it on here like so. The coleslaw that you made earlier, take it out of the fridge. Give it a stir. Like I said, it was gonna that the cabbage would get moist, more moist and everything, which it has. Just gonna stir it back up a little bit more. And add a little sauce. Good stir. A pulled pork sandwich is not a pulled pork sandwich unless you top it with your coleslaw. There you go, folks. Coleslaw and pulled pork sandwich from Pine Strawberry Fire District Station 41. Hope you guys enjoy it. Stay tuned for next year. Following years, last year we did breakfast. If you guys remember right, I did my bacon, biscuits, and country gravy. This year we did pulled pork and coleslaw. Dinner. Next year we're going to do, spoiler alert, I'm not going to tell you. You have to stick around, check in next year to see what I'm going to do. Have a nice day. Y'all be safe out there.